and adding. I always do this.
Adding to
One
Hex.
more zero.
Not to Hex, to Pulse.
You got people all hype.
Because I believe it's coming off.
5 zeros and a 1, man.
No, it's gonna be 4-0.
$10 for a million Pulse. I promise.
No.
I think it could. I think it
It's
could. And
good, but it's
if
not
they bring out all these
gold.
stable, if they bring out these fake stable
The
coins,
bull
bro, you
run have
bet your
started.
ass people are selling their coins to go stable. I promise you.
I thought they
You
just
look looking
just
laughing. He
approved.
knows, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, man. Because I
You
just think
know.
it's funny. I
Yo,
think
come
it's
on, right
funny,
now. I
man,
think you
but
should
it's not.
profile,
I
bro.
don't think. I personally don't think. I think all the pumping that's been going on is from that.
No, I don't think it's people coming in. I think the pumping is people creating new things and just putting it back into the one thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I don't see them selling it down like because
No,
the
but
price.
when the L is when the stable coins come, they have to sell it. They're gonna get liquidated. They're gonna sell.
But they can sell it now if they wanted to.
Hey,
Yeah,
go
but they're
ahead, Sherry.
waiting for a reason. There's
No,
no
no, no.
reason to sell now.
Go ahead, Sherry. You guys let Sherry speak.
There's not much stable coin. If they were to really sell down, and not the little people, the big people, if they were to sell off, they would change that ratio so dramatically that the whole system would collapse. But they need something else, which is not necessarily tied to actual value. They need to create this value, and the value created due to apparently some transfer of wealth or value is going to result in the people changing the ratio, because they're not going to deliberately change the ratio between DAI or USDC or USDT, but they will deliberately change it on other stable coins, which will then dramatically change the effect of how they capitalize, because you might get a depeg, meaning that people might get the chance to sell off their stable coins to get more stable coins that might just peg back, because big whales will just make sure that it pegs back.
I personally think that in that little ecosystem that you're talking about, I think there's more coming later.
Yeah, of course, but man,
but I think
you
it's
know
going
how
to be
good it
within.
is.
No, what I'm meaning is to the point where you don't have to go back pulse. I think there's going to be something built on top of. If it is what the speculation is, what it's supposed to do, there's going to be something to the point where you don't have to go back into pulse. I believe.
If they squeeze the liquidity, because they will have to, because where's all the stable coin? It's in liquidity, apparently, right?
Correct. It's locked in. It's locked
Okay,
between
so
Atropa
meaning.
and DAI.
So if they're not going to sell off the pulse in order to stabilize the stable coins, right? Meaning that they're going to have to take their money and transfer and get more money. Meaning that that's still it's not a deliberate sell, but it's kind of like a position where you're giving the money. So you're in a position.
Well, I mean,
what if you did
something? What if you did something where you could spend it on a credit card?
Well, you just have, but that's irrelevant, because it's like, well, if I take my money and put it, if I take the money and put it on the credit card,
it's fake value. To the world, it's fake value. To us, it's real value. And then to the credit card company, they don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yes, that's true value. That's true value. I agree with you, but is it true appreciation? I don't think so, because you could just take your money and spend it on your credit card. But the thing is that you're gonna want to go and leverage that ability to consume. Right? But that ability to consume still doesn't help the pool. And by Hart's law, by momentum, what's going to happen is that if they don't actually bring in new liquidity to feed those stable coins, meaning that, okay, well, it's either they sell the stable coin, right, for a stable coin, or they're selling the pulse for the stable coin, or they're giving the pulse for the stable coin, or they're just saying, hey, everyone's just going to focus in stable coin. So then let's just do that, because it's a move. Everyone's gonna sell off. It's just you're gonna see this ratio change where it's like, okay, well, they're gonna lower the liquidity, they're gonna thin it out, and everything people do is gonna affect it more. And that's the way that the big guys, who can't just go and scoop up fucking 2% of their own supply, because it's like, what's the point? Well, they're gonna be able to just twice their bags.
I'll give you two scenarios. One I don't believe in. That I've heard. The one I don't believe in is Pulsechain isn't meant to go up. It is meant to be a stablecoin chain that's fully decentralized. Therefore, price stays low, and sooner or later, people will realize and understand that this will be the coin of stablecoins once the regulators come in, of true decentralized stablecoins. I don't believe in that, but that has been out there.
It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me.
I don't believe that. So here's the one thing I do believe, and the one thing that I did see and witnessed. As soon as Pulsechain or Hex ticks one way up to the upside, people start FOMOing. So that goes against your hey, they're just gonna sell that thing off. It's gonna take a 4-0 because as soon as it ticks up to 4-4-4-5, people start selling that shit, thinking they're gonna miss the boat, and then it goes back down, and they're like, "Fuck!" And then
we haven't passed the 6 yet, so my theory is still in hold because we're at 4. We need once we hit 5, it has to hit 6, and then it got to go to 7.
Yeah, we're just going sideways. If it
But
goes over,
but we're going sideways for one reason and one reason only.
well, the case has a lot to do with that. We would be
Well,
down
we're recycling the meme coins. It's a meme coin season. It's recycling.
Yeah.
But it's okay. But we're not really bringing in new money.
Well, it's not bringing. No, I think that's false. There's a lot of people coming in. I do.
Yeah, and then they're getting
even big players. There's a lot of money. Here's the thing. There's a lot of money coming through the chain. I have seen that, and it's a lot. The one thing that I'm not getting information on is how much is leaving the chain. So that's not giving me one balance and not the other is very. No, that's not a good statistic. So I'm not going to.
I agree with you. But you would it's there. It's just nothing's leaving, so nothing's coming in. It's just a fucking fake Fugazi, which is just stuff that has nothing really to do with value. It's just recycled. It's just stuff coming back in and coming back in.
Can't we use the breach to measure that? What comes in and what leaves? Can't we use the breach to measure what comes in and what leaves?
I don't have. I've seen the what comes in thing. I haven't seen anything that.
Yeah, but you can't really keep track of that.
Yeah.
It's very hard to quantify. Listen, we're very opaque. You can't see what we're bringing in. It's very hard.
No. You could tell on the LP. You could tell on the LP because they're gonna squeeze it. They're gonna squeeze it because you're gonna want to bring it back up, and the only way to bring it back down and back up that hard is to squeeze it. You're not gonna bring more in and create more LP. You're not. So the only what people when you have 10% of your LP in, you could just take 80, so it's 15% of your remaining bag and buy it back when it goes down 95%, and you just got back twice your bag. So you just played with 20 to 30% of your bag, so you can only risk 30% to double, and that's usually what happens when in that set of market. But it's not really those numbers. People vary 2%, and then they play with 6, and then it's usually stuff like that which occurs, and then you see these fucking LP guys, they get their position. They just can't go someone who has a lot of money. They're well, how? You think they just want to buy more than what the normal guy is buying? No, they want to buy a percentage of what they have. They want to be I want to grow my bag, right? So when they do that, the only way is, bro, when you lose a 0 on a decimal, that is a fucking 90% drop. That is insane. That means that if you provide only 10%.
The only issue is this has been going on for 3 months and we haven't lost that 0.
Yeah, but there's enough ability. But it makes sense because this is the most devastating hit. If we still had 2 zeros in this and the stable coins came, you know how much dumping there could be? You know how many times people could just get liquidated?
And the stable coins came. Let's get on the same page on that. What are you speaking about? Are you speaking about necessarily USDC and USDT?
Mm-mm.
Or are you talking about
when the leveraging protocols that create when the collateralizing stablecoins come, and then people have to give up the ability to hold, because the ability to hold is to not affect the market. But when you go ahead and leverage, well, yes, okay, you took money, but a lot of people are going to take the money and drop it.
Okay.
It just makes sense. What's the point of this protocol? To not put your money and get money right now at this point in time? Right now, if you were to take the money and the coin goes up, you're fucked. Don't listen to people. You have 100,000. You have 100,000. You're talking
about LL, right?
Yes, you can get more money, but the whole system is just because you would just have so much more. Then you could go ahead and right away get more. Yeah, your leveraging gets more, but the margin always. You think they didn't build a mechanism that will lock you on the way up? That's how it works. But the way it sees the most is on the way down. But on the way down is easy. They just have to shorten and squeeze the pool, and that's what they're doing. There's 5 times less liquidity. But the money hasn't left.
Any well can just play with that. Yes, I agree.
100% right now. That's why
I've said that from the beginning.
But that's the reason. Because if they were to just clonk it, then a lot of more clonking would happen, and their LPs would take a hit off that. Meaning their impermanent side would be completely hit. What they need to do is strategize enough so that the impermanent side gets strategic enough where they could pull out from their LP at the bottom, get enough, but still have enough more to get back the other side when it's on the way up, because they're pushing it the way up, because they made it go down so they could just go ahead, do a buy, capitalize off their LP position, squeeze it, and then force buys. How do you force buys? You just sacrifice what you're going to gain at that extent, and then you sell it down. And that's what they do. And that's what every whale does. Just look at the market maker. Like, it's just the way it works. It's been like that since V2. It's easy. And then V3 just fucks everything because, yeah, it gives the little guy the fucking ability to sell at what he wants. But then that's another game, because then you can monitor everything because you have everything. You see everything. So it's like, okay, perfect. You wanna sell all that at that point? Okay, perfect. Let's run it. Boom. Give this guy the chance, and then boom. There you go. Now we got all this much more.
They announced any launch date?
I'm very excited because I think there could be 6 zeros.
October 15th.
I really think there could be.
Man. Man. I don't know, man. I think a lot of people.
I really think there could be 6. I said 5 and 6 zeros.
I'm not gonna say I'm for it. I'm gonna say like I'm against the argument. It's a good valid point. I just don't know.
At 6 zeros, there's your 10,000x Moon King. That, like, if you were Richard at 6 zeros, there is your 10,000x at exactly everyone's position at when you started, because that's what they wanted, 10x. And that is not much money. When you have that much stable, and then you can capitalize off of, like, okay, like, I wouldn't be surprised if one day all that stable goes and becomes a liquidity in the most volatile market for high volume, and then all of that gets trickled back in and just does a slow buy.
Hey, Famous, let Sherry speak. Go ahead, Sherry.
Hey, I like all the points you guys are nailing down, because yes, the pump and dump, the up and down. I'm into stocks too, so it's kind of a what would you say, a lengthy process. But on the stock trade I'm on public, you can do crypto all day and all night long, 24 hours a day. But you lose really fast on crypto, which is the one thing that makes me fearful. So what I do is I'll buy certain coins and I'll stick with those coins and just sit and wait. Now, the thing is, I have a couple of things to ask. What if we all dump all of our bags, and we got like over 100 people or 200 people to dump all our bags and then buy back in? Would that not make it pump up, and then it would make money, and then we could take out and then do it again?
It would only be smart if we all ended up going back in as liquidity providers.
Right. But you would have to get like a group of us that actually are going to do it, go in and sit.
But maintain, not just for 24 hours. So the likelihood of that, in my opinion, at this point in time of this community, is unlikely.
But everybody would prosper. So you would look a pump and a dump, and you would make the money that you're.
Yeah, but the whales will never let a 10x more.
Here's the problem: you got one
people are front run that.
You got one person out of 100 people, mess that whole thing up.
Hey, I'm gonna take a loan and buy all 100 positions. Boom.
The whales.
I like that.
The whales haven't allowed more than a 10x pump since 55 cents.
Now, which coin are we talking about?
Anything that they control,
right.
Because any whale in Hex, I assume, would be controlling also Pulse.
Yeah, Hex,
because they did.
Hex has been one of my biggest. I started mining Hex years ago, and I've got like over 100,000 Hex.
Oh, you don't have to say it.
Yeah, but no, it took 6 months to hit my wallet.
Awesome, but just for people's safety, because
you're right. I understand. I'm not going to show anything, but I just think there's got to be a way that we could make the coin more prosperous, and you have to find that group of people that are going to say, hey, and sign a petition, and everybody dump, and then everybody buy at the same time, right when it goes up.
Do that.
Huh?
But yeah, you can't do that. So yeah, manipulating markets is something we don't want to be involved in, but we kind of did that already with the SEC announcement, because a lot of people dumped their bags, which if we bought back in at a certain point, then yeah, it kind of does the same effect. But certain people, I guess they're not buying back in right now. Maybe they're waiting for the low to be lower. Like Famous is saying, I don't know, I bought back in. But that's the cool thing about decentralized finance. We're not organized. We're independent of each other. And we're all making our own little decisions about what we think is the bottom or the top.